and they'll say, oh, she or he or they or I, whoever it is that's talking, would never be able to do cheerleading. They're too tall.
Hey, are you ready to open the next cheer chapter? I'm Allison Sack with over 20 years in the cheerleading industry, and somehow I ended up as an author too. I'm here to give it to you straight. No fluff, useful tips, and all the quirks from life on the mat and in the books. Whether you're doing the laundry, driving, or just trying to survive, you're in the right place. So grab your coffee or your jug of water and let's turn the next page.
We're going to be doing a deeper dive and have a chat today about the first book in the Little Cheer Library. And this is the first set of books. And this is the very first book, first story that I'd ever actually written down, funnily enough. And I published it. And this was where I actually started my self-publishing journey, was this book and this story. So without going too much into my why and where it all came from and why it started and what the Cheerleader Book Club and Cheer Chapters is all about, if you want to go look for those videos, you can head to thecheerleaderbookclub.com/cheer chapters and you can find all of that information in there and check out those videos. But for today, we're going to be doing a deeper dive into this story, this book, the characters, what it's about, and where it comes from. Now, this one, all of my illustrations, I absolutely love our illustrator. She illustrated all of these books. Her name is Nina Makoyani, and she's amazing. Like, I just love her so much. She literally gets what I'm saying and what I want and just is able to read my crazy storyboards and just nail it. Like, I look forward to seeing her illustrations so much. Now, the story, Cheer for You, let's go over that first. The story of it is predominantly about cheerleading in schools, not so much with all-star cheer. Now, I do, and I did, and I still do, and have done various times throughout my life, coached in schools. I originally did start when I very first started coaching. This was probably maybe 2 years into coaching. So I would have been about 18 at the time. I started coaching in primary schools and high schools. This was back in the UK. And at the time of writing this book, I was only coaching in Western Australia in primary schools at the time. So that's why this book is more based with the pom-poms and at a school and kind of like a school gym and like a school performance theme, because that's where I was at the time, and those are the children that I was just around and what I was surrounded by and what was influencing me on a day-to-day basis. Other stories, however, the other stories are more influenced by All-Star. All-Star is where I've spent most of my time coaching. I do coach All-Star now, and I coached All-Star. I'm on an All-Star program, gym. I'm actually on my second program, but I have done that for many years. And yeah, so the themes of the stories just come from different inspiration throughout the time. But when I wrote this one, that's why it's based in a school. Now, when I started coaching at the primary schools, which I still do coach at currently at this point in time, they were supposed to be all-star style routines. I didn't have to stick to like any of the school program ones. We wasn't running a school program. It was still run as an outside school activity. But the children, however, begged me for pom-poms. So I'm a little bit sidetracking here, I know, but it's kind of a bit of a mix between like varsity cheer and all-star because they just love pom-poms so much. Anyway, so this story is all about what it's like when you go to tryouts. And some of the things in this book had really specifically come from things that I had seen or I had heard people say, or what I had heard parents say or say to me about their children. So the characters, for starters, I really did not want to have stereotypical characters in any of my books, actually. Yes, there are varied types of characters throughout our book, and that's what I wanted. I did not want to have a cheerleading book series that was going to be for any young people that would not represent what they would see if they went into that world. And to me, when we're in this world, it's a complete dolly mixture of all kinds of varieties. So I wanted that to be shown in the books. We have so many different types of people in this sport, and having a stereotypical small blonde female, which is stereotypical of cheerleading, is not what I was wanting to show to young people. So my main characters are, this is Lily. Lily is a tall Asian young female, and Emily is a redhead. So I really just wanted to have characters that were completely different, that kids would be able to look at in any of the books, actually. And especially when I talked to my illustrator about it, I just wanted kids to be able to pick up these books and it represent the sport how they see it, or how it is, or how friends see it. And I wanted them to be able to find either a character in here that they can relate to, that they look like, has the same similar backgrounds, or people that they might be able to find people that look like their friends and so on. I just wanted it to feel really familiar. So those are my two characters. Now, Lily goes for tryouts in this story, and she is brave and she goes, but she has self-doubts about herself because she's tall. Now, the reason I had put that in is because at that point in time, like I said, I have had, and do still, even currently to this day, and many of you might be able to relate. I don't know. You let me know if this is something that you relate to. But I do have parents or children themselves say to me, especially if they have never done cheer. This is for people that are not in this world. They're completely new. They've never been to any kind of anything cheerleading. It's just something that they've come past. And they'll say, oh, she or he or they or I, whoever it is that's talking, would never be able to do cheerleading. They're too tall, or they're too big, or they're too whatever it is that they have to say. And they completely cut off that whole opportunity from themselves or that child, because they've made the assumption that you need to be a certain way to do cheerleading. And it's just not the case in this sport. Depending on obviously where you're looking at, but we're literally talking about young children right now. We're talking about people that are going into this sport new as entry level. We're not talking about somebody that's 16, has never done cheer, and all of a sudden wants to go and try and be on a summit or worlds team. Like we're not talking about that. We're talking about people that are new to this sport and they're coming into it, and they automatically assume that there's not going to be a place for them. And that was something that was really breaking my heart, and still does. And it is really a message that I like to get out there, that cheer is one of the sports where you can just help the team so much in so many different positions. It's not all about one job in a cheerleading team. So yes, Lily is tall and she has these self-doubts, but there's going to be some spoilers in here for the story, just so you know. She does make the team. She makes a team with her new bestie, Emily, and the coach puts her as a back spot. So our main character, our protagonist, is a tall Asian back spot in cheerleading. Like, she's our main character. We're not talking about something that's like a story about a flyer and she's small and she's flexible. Like, I wanted to go with something that I see on a daily basis and what's real to people. So that is why I made Emily tall. I make her a back spot, and a back spot's job is so important in cheerleading. Like, that's a whole other video in itself. If you're a coach or an athlete that's a back spot and you know what I'm talking about, and you're a back spot listening to this, like, I literally praise you so much. It is a huge job and a huge responsibility, and you are valued on your team. You are absolutely valued and you're doing great. Love. So much love for you. So that's Emily's role. And then as she goes throughout this, she learns that she can do something new. She gets over her self-doubts and she makes new friends. She joins this team and she does things that she thinks she could never do and things that she never thought she would get to. And she overcomes those fears and those self-doubts to the point that she now has all these other bigger dreams that she now thinks are going to be possible. and she goes and performs her routine. And this book talks about those feelings as she's going through about performing. What is that like when you get to that stage where you've been given a role and now you've got to go and perform it? You've got the skills, but now you got to perform it in front of like a huge crowd. Like, what's that like? So that's the story of Cheer for You and those main characters. Emily is a flyer in the routine. Her little friend's her flyer. And also throughout the story, it's just been important to me to just show in these books the words that we use in cheer, especially if we have athletes that are reading these, not children that have never done cheer before. I wanted children to be able to read these stories and be able to recognize the words that we use within the sport that they would hear in their gym or their program at their school. So how we count, how we call things out, what things are called, as in like when we're talking about facials, or if we're doing a set and those kind of things. I use all of the vocabulary that coaches would use in the story. So this is like, just can really connect the children to the story and help connect parents to children when they're reading and talk about something that the children absolutely love together. Also within these books, aside from the story, is Spot the Difference. So Spot the Difference was influenced from my son. He absolutely loves Spot the Difference. So we had to put Spot the Difference in all of the books. So all of the story books have a Spot the Difference. And then also at the back. Now, if you've been on the website, you might have already seen, but I really wanted to thank parents, grandparents, friends, aunties, uncles, adults that purchase these books for children to read. And I really wanted to give the children something back also that they love to do. Now, my son loves to do sheets of any kind, and he would just ask me to print off whatever he's into, and he would look for things, and we would be trying to find stuff that he might be interested in at that particular time and try and find activity sheets for him. And I was thinking it would be such a good thing if I can give a thank you back to the people for supporting and reading these books and becoming my little cheerleaders, and that's the Secret Book Club. So at the back of the books, there's a password. When you go onto the website, head over to the Secret Book Club, enter in the password, and it will take you to the Secret Book Club page. And in there's hundreds of activity sheets. So if you want to find out what happens to Lily and Emily, be sure to check out the rest of the book at thecheerleaderbookclub.com. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for sticking with me until the end of this chapter. I hope you found something useful, or at the very least cracked a smile. If you want some more, dive into more episodes, grab one of my books or a freebie at thecheerleaderbookclub.com. Hit me up on socials at the Cheerleader Book Club, and if you have a wild topic you want to hear my take on, send it over. No, really, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. And on that note, I will look forward to seeing you in the next Cheer chapter.